Hello students, this is again Strategic Management and Business Policy, Unit 4. At Unit 4 I have already posted you Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 was pertaining to our business strategic management, and then we had the Part 2. In the Part 2 we had covered the strategy formulation, and in that strategy formulation we studied about the concept, levels of strategy, then process of strategy formulation, factors affecting strategy formulation, and the subsequent portion of that was our strategic evaluation. In that we studied about the various process of that, and then details of that process, and then we said criteria for strategy evaluation. Now, as you recall the diagram that we had seen earlier, before the strategy formulation was the environmental analysis. Let us see what is meant by environmental analysis, and then we will proceed further in part 3 of this, and this will be the last part of our unit 4. So in that, environmental analysis is the process to identify all the environmental, that is external and internal factors, assessing their nature, auditing them to find their impact on the business, and making various profiles for positioning. Just to explain that, external and internal factor primarily for opportunities and strengths, and also weaknesses, etc. And assessing their nature as to how is going to affect the particular business or strategy formulation, auditing them, going into detail of each one of them, and then impact on the business for making various profiles, what strategy is to be formulated, taking into consideration all these factors. Let's see further. Then, environmental analysis entails assessing the level of threats and opportunities, considering the strengths and weaknesses of the business. Let's see, this is what I explained to you now, and let's see what is further in that. In that environmental analysis, the process consists of the following steps. So in this particular steps, first is our scanning. Scanning we cover for getting information from environment to identify factors, emerging trends, and early warning signals that may influence the business. So you have to have an overall picture about everything, both internal and external, that is to collect the information, identify factors, their emerging trends, what is required, and early warning signal that is going to affect or influence the business. The second is monitoring. After scanning the things which are useful, we monitor that. It is done to check the nature of relevant environmental factors for the follow-up. What are these to be? Going into more details of it. The third step is analyzing. This will require the data collection and use of tools and techniques. And finally, the forecasting to find out the future possibility based on past, present and present scenario. Next we see is this is to diagnose and seize the opportunity. So scanning, monitoring, analyzing and forecasting primarily to diagnose and seize the opportunities. Then one of the methods of analysis is what we call the PESTEL analysis. PESTEL is a short form of this, and we will see it in the diagram. What does it stand for? So it is a framework or tool used to analyze and monitor the macro environmental factors that have impact on the organization. It is used for entering new businesses or foreign market. As the name suggests, it is the macro environmental factors, that are the major factors. Primarily, this analysis is used for entering new business in the diversification as we have studied, and also for internationalization, entering the foreign market. What it is? PESTEL analysis, basically the first letter of all these analysis factors is the one which stands for PESTEL. P for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technology, E environmental, and last one L legal. Political, economic, social, technology, environmental, legal. Let's see what each factor means for entering into new business or foreign markets. As you see, all these factors are macro factors. So, political factors. Political factors, the government policies, political stability of the government in power, foreign trade policy of the government, tax policy, labor laws, environmental laws, and trade restrictions. So these are the major factors to entering into a new business or internationalization business. The second was the economic factors. Economic growth, how the economy is growing, interest rates, exchange rate, especially dollar versus the rupees, etc. in our case, inflation, disposable income of consumers and businesses. The P, E, economic. Now next is the S. S is the social factors. Population growth, age distribution, health consciousness, and career attitude. These are the factors with regard to social factors. So political, economic, social, PES. Then let's see the next one, T for technological factors. That is new ways of producing and distributing goods and services. And we have seen the digital marketing, etc. and automation as well as communication with the target markets. How we communicate with the target market. Like for example, Uber, Ola, etc. There are example technology factors. Then environmental factors. Pollution, ethical factors, sustainability, and carbon footprints. These are very important nowadays in any country for that matter. Pollution, ethical, sustainability, and carbon footprints. So PES, TE, and the last one is the legal factors. Legal factors pertaining to health and safety, equal opportunities for men and women, advertising standards, whatever is written must be there on the goods, consumer rights and laws, product labeling, and product safety. Now this is one of the methods for macro factors analysis for entering into new markets or starting a new business. That is the PESTEL, political, economic, social, technological, environment, and legal factors. Next we have the resource analysis. Resource analysis is a strategic planning tool which considers what? The resources required to support particular strategies. And we have studied the various types of strategies: stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination, and those needed to gain competitive advantage. So two things: resources required for supporting a particular strategy and gaining a competitive advantage. The second is the required competencies to effectively use those resources. You have the resources, but you require competent people also to effectively use those resources. The resources are assets which an organization owns. The three main types of resources are physical, tangible, and human resources. Of these, the most important being the human resources. Resource analysis, continuing. Resource competencies. We have used the word competencies earlier, are the complex pattern of skills in utilizing the resources to achieve the desired end result. That is the competencies of the people, which includes skills and then utilization of the resources that are there. Resources could be money, material, machinery, etc. and all that, so that we get the end results. Then resource analysis also helps organization to understand their competencies and value of resources, so which are necessary for growth and success of the business. Two things in this, that is the competencies we understand and also the value of resources. Once you start utilizing, then you understand what is the value of each resource. That's all. Thank you. This unit 4 finishes with this part of Unit 3, Part 3, and now we have completed Unit 4 in Part 1, Part 2, and this one Part 3. Thank you. We will be now studying the next part, that is a Unit 5, and this will be subsequently talking to you about that. Thank you.